Hello, everyone. This is the first of our series of Pressure to Performance podcasts. A lot of P's in there. And I'm going to introduce you, or I'm going to ask Rachel McNair of Birmingham Mind to introduce herself and the organisation, who are one of our advocates for the event in Birmingham this September. Over to you, Rachel.
Oh, hi, Michael. Thank you so much for having me on. It's lovely to chat with you today. So, yeah, my name's Rachel. I am the Communication and Marketing Lead at Birmingham Mind. And for those of you who haven't heard of us, we are a local mental health charity operating across the whole of Birmingham and Solihull, predominantly supporting adults, supporting people aged 18 plus with their mental health and wellbeing. As a charity, we offer a range of different services, so people can, contact us in lots of different ways. They connect with us in lots of different ways. We've got helpline services, we have crisis services, we've got accommodation services, we've got different community hubs that are dotted throughout the city, one of them in central Birmingham, and we do lots of different ways of just basically supporting people with their mental health and wellbeing. For some people, that's in-person support, so they might come along and see us and might join a group or a session, or they might come and have a one-to-one session with one of our crisis intervention workers. But for other people, it might just be a phone call or an email, or I'm not quite sure who else to call or to ask this question of. So a lot of people reach out to Birmingham Mind because they know they can have that trusted kind of conversation around mental health information and wellbeing. So yeah, that's where the helpline service and that email service and our web chat service comes in. Our service is 7 days a week, so as a charity we never close, so people can access us all the time. So yeah, our services operate 7 days a week, so you can get hold of us whenever you need to, and it's open, like I say, to anybody living across Birmingham and Solihull. We are part of the wider Mind Federation, so a lot of people have heard of Mind, and we are one of many local minds that operate locally within communities, providing that mental health and support for people.
Brilliant. You, as well as doing a national thing, you're local. You will be having some kind of presence at the event, even if it's just your contact details.
Yeah.
Hopefully our editors are going to put it somewhere on this podcast. But do you want to just say what the phone number is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah, obviously we are hoping to be at the event and we're looking forward to attending. If not, we will have resources that we can send over to you in advance, and that can be available for obviously your attendees on the day to take away. But if anybody wants to contact Birmingham Mind, whether that's themselves, a friend, or a family member, a neighbour, someone you're worried about, it doesn't necessarily have to be about yourself. You can contact us. The best way is through the helpline, just because it's open all of the time. So you can ring us on a local number, 0121 262 3555. So open 7 days a week from 9 in the morning till 11 p.m. at night. So even if it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday night and you feel like I just want to ask a question, or I feel like I need someone to chat to, that's the number you can ring. You can also email us if it's a non-urgent inquiry. So if you can wait a day or so, you can email us, and the email address is help@birminghammind.org. And if you prefer, on our website, birminghammind.org, you can also web chat with us. So a lot of people prefer to use a text function or a chat function as opposed to talking. So talking isn't for everybody. Ringing up and having a conversation isn't for everybody. But the website does like this chat box. And our chat is always answered by humans. We are not, we're not an AI chat box. I know there's a space for AI in mental health, but actually when people are disclosing kind of their thoughts and their feelings, and obviously whatever they're experiencing, our chat box is always answered by a human. So yeah, you can get in touch with us via the website birminghammind.org and use the chat box that's in the corner there.
That's great. And what do you know? I'm giving you some homework here, Rachel. Checking your homework. What do you know about the event, and how does it fit in with what the mission of Mind?
Oh, wow, you've done a very good explanation to the event, so it's really fabulous what you want to do. And I love the fact that it's just come from the background of sports and sport performance, and obviously that's kind of the roots of it really, and the heart of what obviously where that's come from and what that's kind of evolving to be. I just think it's just such a wonderful opportunity just for people to look at actually kind of how we all need to be more mentally resilient in this day and age. And actually, that's what the event is going to people to do, is actually thinking about, your current mental health, maybe your current mental health struggles or your historical struggles, and actually the resilience that you can take from that learning and from that journey, and actually how you can make that into something positive. And to tone your phrase, Michael, to use that as mental wealth, and obviously to have that as an opportunity and to bring all of these wonderful speakers and people into the room and have this conversation, because actually mental resilience is what we need at the moment. It's difficult times for people, right now, and in whatever aspects that is, whether it's that sport, or whether in that's business, or whether just in people's personal lives, we're all finding different challenges. And actually the way to do that is actually think about how we can enhance our mental resilience, how we can draw upon those opportunities and those learning from our own experience of whatever people's history of mental health is, whether that's personal, professional, care as a carer for somebody, or a friend or a family member. But yeah, the cost of living is just massive for people right now. We're just seeing those little increases that are knocking up. And I was actually part of listening to something on a radio show the other day, and there was a couple there, I think between them earning something like £75,000 as a married couple, to the point where they're now saying they can't function or live with a salary of £75,000 between them. And they are now relying on their savings to top up those salaries, because that cost of living, they're living comfortably, they have got a car and they've got home and they're going on a holiday, but the cost of living for people, even people in that middle divide, where they are moderately comfortable, are really struggling. And that, and it is only, we aren't talking necessarily about people now who are more socioeconomically depraved. The wealth gap is becoming bigger and bigger financially. So preparing ourselves to be mentally wealthy, or how we can educate ourselves to be more mentally wealthy, is only going to help with that kind of resilience in terms of what we all face day to day, whether that's in sport, whether that's in business, whether that's just in our personal lives with our friends or our families. So yeah,
that is brilliant, Rachel. That's really good. And we were talking last time, we were talking earlier, and I'm really testing your homework now. we talked about well, you mentioned some figures. We're not going to hold your feet to the fire, but you were saying how much it costs the UK.
Yes, I did, and I remember now. So yeah, I think this was a study. In fact, it was, I don't think, because I did go back and check after I spoke to you, because I wanted to make sure I got my facts right. So Deloitte did a study, I think in 2024, where they looked at the cost of how much it costs the UK businesses for people to support employees with poor mental health. And Deloitte's produced this report, and I think the cost to businesses, to employers, is £51 billion per year. That is UK businesses. More interested in that, and this tips into the kind of the mental resilience fields again, is actually presenteeism, which is those people who are turning up to the pressure to perform, that pressure to actually, I don't feel so good right now, but I feel obliged, or the pressure to be the best version of myself. That is called presenteeism. So that's turning up to work just to be there because you feel you should be there, but not because maybe you're actually in the best place to be there. And again, Deloitte's put a cost on that, and that the cost of that was £24 billion. That's how much it costs UK employers every year in terms of actually the amount of time that staff end up needing to take off work and the support they're needing.
So that's two separate figures.
Yes.
So it's 15.
Two separate things. So yeah, so poor mental health costs UK employers £51 billion per year. Like I said, Deloitte's 2024, so it is 18 months old, that stat, but you can go away and look at the more detail there.
More than less.
Yeah, so it's not going to massively have changed. And then presenteeism, which is the contributor where people perform, or have that pressure to perform, to attend, to turn up to work, even when they don't feel like they're at their full ability to do so, is costing employers an additional £24 billion. So the more we can do to look at actually how people can build on this mental resilience, become mentally wealthy, think about actually how they can have those tools in their toolbox to kind of move on this journey, to look at, you know, what their mental health journey has been like so far, and take from that what they've learned. You know, there's so many positives to gain from it, but, you know, not to be, you know, not to think of it as a negative, because actually mental health isn't a negative. We all learn from it. It's all part of our journey, and actually what the contributions that could be going forward, because ultimately there's a cost. It's a cost to us as a person, as an individual. It's a cost to the UK economy, you know, and it's a cost to people's kind of, you know, their livelihood and their general kind of emotional and, you know, their well-being in total, really. So yeah.
Fantastic. Rachel, you have been outstanding, remarkable, wonderful. This has been great.
We could talk all day, Michael.
Yeah, you certainly know your stuff. So, it's a great price that we are paying already. And hopefully, not hopefully, but this event is, as you say, all about, and I'm going to steal your phrase, so I like that, mentally wealthy. So we're putting an event where we want our guests, our attendees, our VIPs to become more mentally wealthy and learn how to do that, do some of the things. So even if you or your representatives won't be at the event, although I know you're trying to be there, we will have your products, your
our literature,
your literature, and we'll add I'll make sure we've got the details of how people can contact Mind and take advantage of your services.
Yeah,
it's been fantastic. What a great way to start our series of podcasts. Thank you so much, Rachel, and I hope I will be sending you a ticket, definitely. Shh, nobody else listen to that. And we'll make sure, and thank you for your advocacy for pressure to performance, mental health, mental wealth.
Thank you, Michael. Wonderful to chat to you. I look forward to getting the ticket. And if people haven't got their tickets, go now. Click the link. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere. Get your book on. It's sure to be a fabulous event.
It's going to be a fabulous event. So that's where we end the podcast, even though we're going to keep on talking now.